Hey everyone, Chris here for Thomann Guitars and Basses, and we are here in Munich. I'm standing here with Doug MacArthur, and this is the SatchVai Tour. How you doing, man?
Very good. We're having a good time out here.
Doug is with Steve for 3-4 years-ish?
4.5-ish, yeah.
It's so funny. We just realized that we met 3 years ago in 2022 in Nuremberg, which was your first tour with Steve, right?
Yeah, the first time was a European tour, and it was quite jarring.
I really want to start this time. We forgot that last time, like right at the beginning. Picks. Okay. Picks and strings. We didn't cover that.
A couple different types of picks. They're both made by the same company. The company is called In-Tune Gripix. Actually, the company's called In-Tune, but this model is called the Grip, G-R-I-P-P-X. And one's heavy. It's 1.5 millimeters.
Oh, wow.
And the other one's 1.14. But I score them with an X-Acto blade pretty aggressively.
Okay, yeah.
And that's kind of what keeps him from dropping them when he starts sweating. So they got a heavy grip.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But nothing too special. You know, they're a standard shaped guitar pick. But sometimes he just kind of prefers to have something a little heavier, and then other times something a little floatier.
Depends on the song or the mood?
Yeah, usually.
Evening?
Yeah, like the Hydra, he uses a heavier pick, you know, because with the bass, or like the 7-string songs, I think he likes the heavier pick. But it changes. He's not someone who kind of gets stagnant with his options. He kind of changes it up. Yeah.
I guess the same thing goes for strings, because I know he's been going back and forth between 9s, 9.5s, 10s, sometimes depending on mood or...
Yeah, I mean, on the normal guitars, it's usually always 9 to 42, you know, the Paradigm Slinkies, which stay in tune really great. The 7-string, it's a custom gauge where I put a 56 on the low A string.
Like a middle of the road.
Yeah, just, you know, I think the normal set comes with a 52, and it's just too flubby, you know. But yeah, most of the guitars, 9 to 42. Something like this, it's 10 to 46.
What is the main guitar? I see some
The main
babies.
one's Flow.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
this is the original one. And I was telling you before we started rolling that this was kind of semi-retired when I started working for Steve. And it had a neck that he wasn't crazy about. So I took a stock gem neck, refretted it with the EVO gold wire, lightly scalloped it, and recarved the profile a bit thinner. And it kind of still sat in the studio. But recently we kind of put Flow 3 aside, and this is the main one.
And spec-wise, it is pretty similar to Flow 3, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Sustainer.
the Fernandez. It's got the all the little Vai things like the high pass filter. The only main difference is it's got an Evolution 2 instead of the regular Evo pickup.
Okay.
And we kind of went back to Evo 2s.
Okay.
Because during Beat we switched over. Just a little less hot and less peaky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it more like a voicing
No.
choice, or more like the outputs, like more control?
Output in a little tamer high end.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fun because this guitar, it kind of deserves to be out, you know, because it's still a great, rock solid instrument.
This is for me like a real special moment. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Very light guitar. It's basswood. This guitar was in the I Want to Play My Guitar music video. At some point on the Beat tour, I just really wanted to see him playing a green guitar with all black hardware. So when we got home, I put this together. And
True though, this comes with a gold hardware.
yes, I changed a lot of stuff. And it's a much thinner neck I profiled it down to. And this is sort of the backup for Flow. It's a really great guitar, but it's made of alder, so it's a little different sounding. But pretty much same specs, except it's not scalloped.
Okay. And when you say you carve down the neck and make it thinner, is it more the shoulders, or is it like the overall thing?
A lot gets taken off the shoulders, but a lot gets taken off the center, you know, so it ends up being a pretty slim kind of D profile.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the shoulders is where you feel it the most. You're like, oh, I'm free. Yeah. It's funny. He likes very, very thin necks, even though his hands are the size of, you know, plates of meat.
Exactly, like double the size of my hand.
Yeah. It changes. Like I said, it's kind of like picks, you know, sometimes. Like if he picks up a guitar that has a fatter neck, he's not going to discount it completely. But that seems to be where he likes to live, you know, a lighter, or not lighter, a thinner neck.
Yeah.
This is our new Evo. Evo's done touring. And when we were on the Beat tour, that decision was made, even though we didn't have Evo out there. But we had a break in the tour, and I took our Evo replica on tour, the body, and was relicking it in between, sound checks and shows. So I'd be in Steve's dressing room with my magnifying glasses and just trying to get basically all the main details of Evo.
So you actually replicated all the original wear, the original guitar, but this was none of those limited ones. This was
one of them.
It was one.
But they were kind of meekly reliced because Evo got a lot more age as time went on. Yeah. The only thing I wasn't able to really replicate was the yellowing in the body. I would have had to start from scratch with something else. But this is identical to Evo, really. It's an older neck. This actually used to be one of Flo's necks.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And same thing, the EVO wire. This one has never been on tour.
That is pretty.
This arrived around the time he was recording Sex and Religion, I think. But this guitar, it's got evolutions. It was a prototype, I think, when they were trying to figure out what kind of new aesthetic was going to be, done to the gem. And it's just another really good guitar. He's used this to record a lot. But when I needed to bring a guitar out as a backup to Evo on this tour, I took this because it's just kind of fun to give an older guitar some more exposure. But yeah, fun one, the pyramid inlays.
Yeah, really beautiful. Like the universe kind of 7-string vibes.
Yeah. This is a John Scofield model. We've had this out for a while. He plays one song on it, Little Pretty. And it's a stock model that David Bonvillain dipped and then did all this really great pinstriping to.
Oh, wow. Hello.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I remember finding this strap somewhere in Northern California. We had a white puffy one, and it was getting so grungy. But yeah, this got a bit of work too. I refretted it and planed the fretboard down to 16 inches.
Also EVO gold frets, right?
Yeah, EVO gold.
It's hard to tell when the slide.
I know, yeah.
Like.
So it feels kind of gem-like, but still a chunkier neck.
Is there a specific reason for you guys preferring EVO gold frets instead of nickel or steel?
Yeah, I mean, when I started with him, I liked that fret wire a lot, and it was what was on Flow 3, which is kind of the golden child. So I'm like, all right, he likes this, and so that I started putting that on a lot of the guitars. And it's nice because it's not as brash sounding as stainless, but it doesn't wear like nickel, so it's a good
It lasts much longer than nickel, doesn't it?
Yeah, but now you can't get it anymore.
Why?
For a while, yeah, I can't really find it anywhere.
Wow.
So I went back to nickel for most of the stuff, which is fine. You just you do a couple more fret levels. This has been out. This is the Zeus and Chains guitar. It's funny, I put some new pickups in this a day before the gear shipped out for this tour, just to kind of make it a little less bright sounding, because this pick guard, it's solid. Yeah, it's solid metal, so it kind of reflects a lot of high end. This is a really, really cool guitar, and I think I've had to adjust the truss rod once. It's such a happy little thing. But so that's got some custom pickups. This is the main one though, and this was one of Steve's original universes that he kept at his mom's house in Long Island.
Look at those bird eyes there.
Yeah, very thin neck.
Random.
This is really similar to another guitar Steve has at home that he calls Bodie, which is another UV. And again, this is just kind of a fun way to take another guitar on tour, give it more exposure. But it's massive sounding. It's a really, really,
It's really nice seeing like the original guitars, some of them being back in in rotation.
The original when they were putting the original Edge version of the 7. So a little time machine back to Whitesnake.
Now most of these guitars are like one is a backup for another one, I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't really.
Except for the
this one, we never really break strings, But this is a backup in case Revo catches on fire. This is a backup, for Flow. And then this is the backup for the 7. So it's really just, this one, that one, and that.
Tuning-wise, standard?
It's all standard except the 7 strings, the low B string is tuned down to an A.
Drop.
Yeah.
I wanted to say let's hit the stage, but here's a switcher for you.
This really started being a thing on the Inviolate tour, where I would do some of them, and then he would still kind of, he'd go up and hit stuff. But once Beat came around, that's when I started doing everything. And you can see we have, various banks for every song. And I like to name things funny names sometimes.
That is a beautiful pedal board. I've seen that in one of the like live rig videos from last year, maybe.
Yeah, last year for Beat, I built a red one.
Yeah, that was red. Yeah,
it had
or
gold
pink or red.
trim.
Yeah,
red. Yeah, everything was kind of red for Beat. Most of the stuff, you know, crimson.
Yeah, yeah.
And this one, because it was kind of Steve going back to Vai territory, I said, you know, green.
Yeah.
So I find this great pedal train Velcro, and they make it in all these different colors. So
so those are the stripes.
they're all strips of Velcro, yeah.
Nice.
And it's one of my favorite things to do when we're not on tour is go to Anawalt Lumber and buy the plywood, cut it up, route it, you know, and then build a board. I love building the rigs. You know, that's one of my favorite parts of it.
You can tell it's really tidy.
Thank you. Yeah. There's always a Whammy DT and a Dunlop 95Q. This is the touch sensor one. You know, there's a little switch mount.
Turns itself off if you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Gemini, which that's the side that he kind of favors. And I always put some sort of a phase shifter on because he really likes that sound from his childhood. And this is one of his new favorite pedals that we started using on Beat, the EP booster. It's subtle, but it's got a good boost, clean boost to it. Those are kind of the pedals that run through, you know, to the input of the preamps. And the rest of the stuff is kind of fractal. You know, there's an expression pedal that's just a master volume.
Gotcha.
The FC12 is just a copy of the one I have over there.
So when you switch there, this one will react and turn everything on and off and switch over if needed.
It's great, seamless. And then this is the RJM Mastermind LT that switches between the different preamp channels. So I have that hooked up into the Synergy system. We got his two main dirty sounds. This is kind of his main sound, the main Vai module. And then we have kind of a duplicate that's just set with a tiny bit less gain.
Okay.
And then the B-Man cleans are kind of the main Vai clean sound right now. You know, they're very sparkly, very spangly, very Fender.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the B-Man dirty channels can get really rowdy and yeah.
When would he use that?
We use it only one time during this show, and it's when Steve doubles apart with Joe in a song called Sahara.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just the guitarist to sound so frustrated and ugly. Out of the main pedal, or pedals, it comes into the Synergies. So these are kind of ganged together.
Okay.
And out of the Synergy, it goes into the Fractal, which is mainly used for just delays, reverbs, chorus. And then the Fractal splits it into stereo, and that's when we go into the Fryette power amps.
Gotcha, two of those, yeah.
Yeah, I have one mounted as a backup, just because a heavy power amp rattling around is not, you know, and plus it looks really cool. I like the way it looks. So that's basically it. A lot of this other stuff, which I can get to, isn't really related to his normal signal chain. Okay. So it's really Synergy, Fractal, Fryette. Gotcha. But this panel here, this is a brain for the Hydra. And this is well, actually, this is the backup one. This just kind of gives each instrument on the Hydra an independent level control. And they're all on 10.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And then these great Furman power conditioners. I never really put a rig together without one. There's this MXR pedal. These were some prototypes that I had kind of initiated because I was having some issues with some of the Geminis and just wanted basically a version of the left side and a pedal.
Yeah, yeah.
So they went to work and did a really great job making these. And, you know, we'll see what happens in the future. But I have one mounted in the rack for the Hydra because it has to come on and off in a MIDI loop.
Okay.
And then the NS2 is kind of a fun story because we never really used noise gates. Okay. You know, they always kind of constrict them a bit. And when we were doing rehearsals for this tour in LA, another guitar player that we know very well was using one, and I thought, wow, that's working really well, and it's just a regular Boss one, you know? So I actually bought about 10 different noise gates and did kind of a test in the studio, and that was the winner, oddly enough, the NS2. I really, you know, and it's not set extreme, it's subtle, so you'll still hear hiss, you know? Yeah. But it just takes some of the brashness away from his stage volume on 10 when he can't get to the volume pedal in time. So this is a nice little secret weapon that runs actually before the Fractal comes out of the Synergies into that. And this Ravish sitar is for one part of a song that never made it to the set, but it's still, it'll live in there for the next tour.
It's just there because it's prettier than a hole.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Let me count. Mm-hmm. 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4. So that's why you have the 4 channels.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm so clever.
Yeah, we have. We also have some fun little MIDI sound effects that we're not plugged in right now, but basically he's able to trigger some fun sounds from the song in there too. So it's really 5 instruments. You know, I have a Roland drum module mounted in that rack that's just for storing sounds. And I haven't pranked him yet, but I really want to.
Like the last show of a tour?
Right. I'll put new shoes or something in there. It's a delicate process. I mean, it's hard because stages, you know, once the subs start going, the bass wants to feed back. So he has to really control it. But a lot of the channel changing that goes on in the song kind of helps because certain necks will not get shut off, but the level will be brought down. So it's kind of an involved song for the both of us to perform, you know, because there's a lot of changes happening.
But there are parts where he would play all of them all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And then there are parts where it's like a section with just 2 necks or 1.
Yeah,
would that maybe then switch over? Like
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, there's a bass solo, there's a 12-string fretless solo. Yes, you would.
why wouldn't you want to do that?
I know, right? This is such a great guitar. It's really solid. And there was a period when we were touring and I had to take it apart every day, all the necks off. I had 2 cases made, one for the body and one for the necks. And I would assemble it, you know, before. Well, usually I do it on a day off in the hotel room. So I've slept with the Hydra, you know, many times. And then, you know, after the show, cut all the strings, unbolt the necks, fly to the next place. And we did that like 80-something times. The only thing I've had to replace was the high E saddle. You see, this is black. Yeah. But it's a cool, solid piece of kit.
So cool. Did we forget anything? Anything that's worth mentioning?
The only thing is
I see the 2 cabs for this stereo.
We've been using the Carvin Legacy cabs for a long time. Yeah. And then Joe came over the house one day and said, you know, Steve, you should try the third power cabs. So I called Delana and ordered a few, and they're amazing. I mean, each speaker is in its own port. And she has some other secret sauce that she kind of, you know, sprinkles into them. But you can run them in a multitude of different ways, you know, stereo or each speaker having its own, you know. But we just, you know, loaded them with quartets of vintage 30s, and that's Steve's sound. So they're great cabinets. And Michael Mesker designed the grill cloth, Steve's art director. The old floral pattern.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know this. I've seen this one before.
I remember we showed up and our tour manager said, "What the hell is that?" Said, "None of your business." But that's pretty much the rig. Yeah, it's pretty straight ahead.
Well, you know.
Straight ahead enough.
Yeah.
You know? I've gotten used to it, but yeah, it would make my head spin too.
That's the thing. It's beautiful. It's complex, but it's streamlined.
Thank you.
For sure. Beautiful. Thanks so much for watching this. You will definitely have to stay tuned and subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss our interview with Steve, which is going to happen in a couple of minutes. That might be already online or is coming up in a couple of days. Stay tuned for that one. Doug, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
It's been an absolute pleasure. You guys take it easy. See you down there in the comments. Bye. Bye. Oh, it's loud. Okay, gotcha.
That in the video.
Yeah. It's just there because it's prettier than a hole.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. There's a joke in there somewhere.